Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. Today's exciting episode is me making a mirror ball. It's a silver sequin jacket and it's pretty fabulous. It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket. Sorry, this episode is a whole day late. Yesterday was the anniversary of something that happened 5 years ago and it was horrible and I just needed a minute. So we are going to make this gorgeous jacket here using this discontinued McCall's pattern. But I recommend the Vogue 7975. I just want to do some beading and this jacket has wider sleeves. So that's why I'm using this one. But the Vogue 7975 is a better pattern in my opinion. But I have like 100 of that jacket. Anyway, here is the fabric. We're going silver sequin. And I'm using, like normally when you do, it's silver sequin on a sort of white mesh. So normally you would use white backing fabric. But I remember that mirrors have like black behind them to make them look more sparkly. Also, if I used white, you wouldn't be able to see it. So I decided to go with the black. So I cut out all the bits. And as I said, the sequin is on mesh. And because it's sequin, like little discs of metal, you have to use your not good scissors. And so it was quite a struggle to cut those right. And then I cut the netting. When you're cutting netting, this is me just showing you how you put all the bits together. You put the netting or the backing fabric down. Because the sequin fabric is just on mesh, it's stitched, each of them are stitched onto mesh. It's really stretchy and saggy. And in the same way, tweed is beautiful, but it doesn't have any structural integrity. So you need to stitch it to a backing fabric. So I use stiff netting. It's the stuff that you make a 1950s petticoat out of. And it's only like $3 or $4 a yard. And just go to the biggest, cheapest fabric store and they have it. The designer fabric boutiques don't usually stock it because it's too cheap and takes up too much room, but it is so useful. Anyway, so I've cut out all the bits and I put the backing fabric down and then I put the mesh over it, I put the sequin over it and I pinned them together for the upper sleeve. And now this is the undersleeve of the left and the right. So I'm just showing you here. I laid out the black netting and I put those upper sleeves over there. So here we go. So now I finally finished them and they're all pinned together. So now I have to, once they're pinned, the two bits are pinned together, you work with them as one bit. Oh, my voice sounds terrible. Sorry about that. Anyway, so you pin the undersleeve to the upper sleeve on the left, undersleeve to the upper sleeve on the right. And now they're all pinned together and these two are ready to machine sew. So now we will do the torso and yeah, see the bits were all sort of, here we go. So first of all, I laid out all the bits, the black net backing fabric, the net, and then I carefully placed this ridiculous mesh over the top. It's so hard to work with. And then they're vaguely in place. And now I'll just put them properly in place and pin them there. And once you've pinned, it does take a long time, but I mean, once you make the jacket, you've had it for ages, like you have it forever. So I think it's worth it. So you pin each piece to, like you interline them essentially. You pin them and then now you can work with them as one. So you pin all the torso together. And then now it's time to machine sew all the long seams. And this is me just showing you. So I've pinned everything together. This is the inside of it. And I've also pinned the front pieces of the lining. Most of the lining is silk, but the front two panels are what you make your outer jacket out of. If you make the front center two panels out of silk, they don't age as well. So I make it out of tweed if it's a tweed jacket or sequin if it's a sequin jacket. So I machine sewed all the seams and I was near the sofa. So I just sat on the sofa with a blanket over me to do the hand stitching because it's cold where I am. And so after you've done the machine stitching, the next thing you do is you pin back, splay open and pin back the seams, like the seam allowance, and then you hand stitch that down. Then you turn out the sleeves the correct way. And you do that to all of them. I only did it to some of them because I was running really, really late. But anyway, here we go. And then I put it on the mannequin so you can have a look. But I haven't done the neckline, so it doesn't sit well at all on the mannequin. I was hoping that I could get away with it, but I'm not going to be able to. So I'm going to have to do the neckline, and then we'll do the sleeves. If you're doing because I'm beading, I'm not going to put the lining in now. I'm just going to make the whole of the outer jacket first, then bead it, then I'll hand stitch the lining in. But if you're making the 7975, what you do next is you make the whole of the lining, then you put the lining jacket and the outer jacket together, right sides together, you pin them together, and then you sew them together at the neckline. But because I have to do the neckline before I've done the lining, you have to do it separately, and it's really complicated, but it's also essential. So here we go. I machine sewed it, I clipped the curves, I hand stitched it, all the seam allowance back twice, and now it is time to add the sleeves. And the easiest way to do this is to lay it out so you make sure you get your left on your left and your right on your right, and then you put pins to mark the top center, the bottom center, and the top third, like each side of the top third. So you need those 4 key pins, and you also put the same 4 pins on the torso of the jacket, and then you pin those 4, and then you fill in everything else. And once you've done that, you either hand sew it, which is easier, or you machine sew it if you're lazy and you know how to. I don't recommend it. Personally, I think hand sewing to set your sleeves is better. So anyway, once that's done, the next thing you do is clip the curves, and which means that the seams will sit properly under the sleeve, and then you push them both sides back up into the sleeve, and it just helps round out the sleeve beautifully. And then I stitch it once from the outside and then once again from the inside. A lot of people skip this step, but then they complain that their sleeves fall off. So I never skip this step, and I don't recommend you do. It does take a long time to make a jacket properly, but once it's done, as I said, you have it forever. So here it is. It's my little mirror ball. It's so cute. It's so, bling. I love it. And it's going to have pale pink beads on it. Originally, I was going to do pale blue, but now I've just I think pale pink will be nicer. So, and here it is from the side. As I said, I haven't stitched back some of the seams yet. So when we get into the back, it's not as perfect as it will be once I've done the hand stitching. But as soon as I finished editing this, that is my next task. And I'm currently sitting on the sofa again with the blankets, in a little nest of blankets. So it's nice and toasty. So I think I'll just sit here and do the hand stitching. Anyway, there it is. It's so pretty. I love it. But yeah, it does take ages to work with sequins. You did the sequins instead of a tweed one because I was like, this will be quicker. And it's marginally quicker, just the tiniest fraction. Oh, I also wanted to show you, I took off the beads of the 3 jackets. I think I mentioned them in the last sewing vlog or the sewing catch up, that this one had beading on it, but I wasn't 100% happy with it. It was nice, but it wasn't like, oh my God, this fills me with joy. So I took the beading off very, very carefully, and I love this tweed. It's such a buttery avocado color. It's olive color. It's so beautiful. And yeah, that one is ready to rebead. This is the one that's going to have the grey floral beads on it. It's going to have a big flower, a little flower, and then either 2 beads in the middle, or like one big bead with a little bead on top, or just the big bead. I haven't quite decided yet. I have to do a few samples to figure that one out. And this jacket, goodness me, 3rd time lucky. I've tried 2 types of beading on there. It's just, I love this jacket. It's the first red triangle one, and I just want to make it so good. So that one is ready to be rebeaded again. But I think the next thing you'll see from me will be a dress video, as a nice simple summer dress. Maybe the white one, the McCall 7948. That one's gorgeous. Although I think I'll lengthen the bodice a tiny bit. Or there's the keyhole blouse, which I turn into a bodice and just add a plain pleated skirt. Or also my favourite, the Butterick 6677. I love that one. And yeah, so that will be the next video. I'm also thinking of doing a style one, but I don't know. I'm currently sitting nestled in a blanket, so I'm not feeling particularly stylish. I think we might go the simple summer dress. I'm planning to focus on the pleating and show how to do simple pleating. But if you have a preference for any of those 3, the keyhole, the white one, or the Butterick 6677, let me know. Anyway, that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it was helpful. And yeah, happy sewing.